Hey, buddy, Tom Coyle, and welcome to The Beauty of Gray, where we look at nuance in a polarized world. So, yesterday, as I'm recording this now, Robert Mueller passed away, former FBI director, and in recent history, he was leading the investigation into Trump's connections with the Russians over the 2016 election and all the process with that. Trump, after they announced the passing, in his usual classy self, said, "Yeah, I'm glad he's dead." And a lot of his supporters are going, "Yeah, burn!" The left, meanwhile, as you know, pointed out how classless that was. And that's where we are, people on complete opposite sides here. So Trump's upset because he was investigated. His supporters love the fact that Trump stuck it to him because they thought the investigation was a witch hunt. Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't a witch hunt. However, just because the investigation did not get what the Democrats wanted doesn't mean it was an illegitimate investigation that way either. So let's review and understand why there was an investigation. So before I talk about that event, let's apply some context here. Suppose you, the listener, are part of a surveillance team looking at a drug dealer. I show up at the drug dealer's house, knock on the door, holding a wad of cash. He hands me a package. I give him the cash. Any reasonable person would say, okay, whoa, Tom might be a suspect here. So you're going to investigate me. Now, in the course of the investigation, you find out that, never mind. Turns out the drug dealer is also a rare book dealer, and Tom was simply buying a rare book. Tom has no idea that this guy's involved in drugs. But the point is, there was a reason to look at me. Now, when you look at Trump and the people in his orbit, like Paul Manafort, man, there's all kinds of Russian ties there. We have the emails and the text messages that Don Trump Jr. himself released. And one of the big contexts, they're talking through a Russian intermediary, an intermediary with the Russians. This intermediary, among other topics, are talking about orphan adoption rules, that type of thing. And one of the things they said is, hey, the Russians have some dirt on Hillary Clinton. They'd love to talk to you about that. And Don's own response was, that would be great. Now, that message exchange does not mean that Don Trump met with the Russians and discussed the dirt on Hillary Clinton. But it does show that there was reason to investigate. Again, Don Jr. released these emails and texts himself. And these were his messages, and that was his reaction. What do I think happened? Again, they were new to politics. Don could probably, here's a scenario that probably happened. Don comes in, hey guys, guess what? These guys have dirt on Hillary Clinton. And somebody who knew what they were doing saying, whoa, we can't even touch that. We can take the meeting, we can discuss adoption of children, that type of thing, but we cannot take this information. That's a likely scenario. Am I saying that's what happened? No, I'm just saying that's a likely possible scenario. But yes, there was reason to look at this stuff. When you look at Manafort and his connections, General Flynn not disclosing some of his connections, there's stuff that goes, wait, we got to look into this. Trump didn't help himself in his speech when he said, and if Russia's listening, if you've got any information on from Hillary's emails, let me know. Now, I took that as him just talking smack, but again, not very helpful. So we look at all of this, there was reason. And what did Mueller find? Well, Mueller ran his investigation, and Trump was not convicted. Democrats hate Mueller because they didn't get the outcome they wanted. Republicans hate him because he did an investigation in the first place. And this is why this is just the perfect content for my Beauty of Gray segment here. There is gray. Mueller did not find anything. That does not mean the investigation was a failure. The purpose of the investigation, as I tell my friends on the left, was not to get the conviction. It was something here doesn't smell right. We have to gather the evidence. When it came down to Donald Trump, like, okay, some stuff doesn't look good at the end of the day. Doesn't look like there was any crime committed. That was that. There was a reason to look at him. But just like my example of me going to the drug dealer and buying a rare book, at the end of the day, nothing we found indicated wrongdoing. So to my friends on the right, I cannot ram this home enough. This was not some drummed up conspiracy. There was information worth looking at. And to my friends on the left, even though you didn't get the conviction you wanted, the investigation still served a purpose. That's how life is. It's not black, it's not white, it's gray. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll have more of these kinds of topics as we move forward. Take care.